Gavin Newsom walked into what he thought would be a casual conversation. Maybe a friendly debate. Maybe just another chance to polish his image as California's slick-haired, camera-ready golden boy. The kind of moment where the lights hit just right, the jawline catches the lens, and his PR team breathes easy. But what he didn't see coming was Anna Kasparian, waiting for him like a storm that had been brewing for years. No shouting, no theatrics. Just quiet, surgical fury wrapped in intelligence and precision. By the time she was done, the governor's polished image looked like it had been through a political car wash without any water, only gravel. From the moment she opened her mouth, it was clear Anna wasn't here to play. Her tone was calm, her words deliberate, but every sentence hit like a hammer. "California is an utter joke," she declared, and you could feel the temperature drop in the room. She wasn't spewing cheap outrage. She was reciting facts that burned hotter than any accusation. Billions of taxpayer dollars allocated for homelessness that vanished into thin air. Promises of new water reservoirs made back in 2014, none built. And yet, there was Newsom, still talking about progress as if repeating the word could make it real. The man who'd built an empire on style and rhetoric suddenly looked like a student caught cheating on his own exam. Anna's takedown wasn't just brutal. It was poetic. She didn't need to scream to expose the truth. Instead, she peeled back the glossy layers of Newsom's persona one by one. Behind the rehearsed empathy, she revealed a politician perfectly fluent in the language of excuses. Every time something went wrong, wildfires, homelessness, crime, water shortages, there was always someone else to blame. The weather, the economy, the previous administration, maybe even Mercury in retrograde. But what Anna did was remind everyone watching that Gavin Newsom wasn't a passive observer of California's collapse. He was the conductor of the orchestra. And the symphony he'd been leading was pure chaos. You could almost see Newsom's confidence fading with every point she made. The smirk that once screamed charisma now looked like a defense mechanism. The man who once bragged about green energy leadership stood there accused of approving more oil permits than any Republican governor in recent memory. The champion of housing reform was now facing questions about why thousands of Californians were still living under bridges while his administration funneled money to projects that went nowhere. Anna didn't need to shout over him. She simply let the facts do the shouting. And then came the knockout blow, the one that stripped away any illusion that this was just political commentary. "He's a snake," she said flatly, her tone calm but cutting. "The slimiest Democratic politician on a local level." It wasn't said for shock value. It was said like a conclusion, the last line of a report she'd been compiling for years. The audience could almost hear the collective gasp, that split second when even the most partisan listener realizes she might be right. Newsom's track record wasn't just flawed, it was riddled with contradictions. He claimed to stand for progress, yet bailed out corporations like PG&E, the same company responsible for deadly fires that destroyed communities. He called himself a leader for the people, yet his policies favored those who could afford to donate. What made Anna's takedown legendary wasn't the content alone. It was the delivery. She didn't grandstand. She didn't gloat. She dismantled him with the precision of a surgeon and the calm of someone who had already accepted the truth long before speaking it. Every word she said carried the weight of lived experience, not just political theory. She wasn't ranting from afar. She was speaking as someone who'd seen the decay firsthand. "Every freeway bridge is full of people living in tents," she said. "There's excrement on our sidewalks. It's unsafe." Those weren't just statistics. They were snapshots of a California that had fallen apart under Newsom's watch. And the internet? It went nuclear. Within hours, clips of Anna's quiet demolition were everywhere. TikTok edits, YouTube compilations, Reddit threads with titles like, "Anna Kasparian just ended Gavin Newsom's presidential campaign." Even centrist commentators, usually careful to avoid taking sides, couldn't resist quoting her. Every replay made the sting deeper. Every share turned her critique into something bigger than a debate moment. It became a movement, a rallying cry for Americans who were tired of being sold perfection while living in dysfunction. Meanwhile, Gavin stayed silent. No press statement. No clever clapback. Just the sound of digital laughter echoing through social media feeds. For a man known for his slick comebacks and polished interviews, the silence said everything. When your critics are louder than your defenders, the silence becomes its own confession. The beauty of Anna's takedown was that it transcended Newsom himself. He became the symbol, the poster child for a political system addicted to aesthetics over action. The kind of leader who holds press conferences in designer suits while cities crumble in the background. Her message was simple. Americans are done with photo-op politicians. They want results, not rehearsals. And that message cut across party lines, resonating with liberals, moderates, and conservatives alike. Because underneath all the ideology, people are tired of leaders who pretend to care while the fires, literal and metaphorical, keep burning. By the end of her monologue, Anna had done something few journalists ever manage. She didn't just criticize a politician, she stripped an entire political culture of its illusions. She reminded everyone that leadership isn't about charisma or carefully curated slogans. It's about accountability. And Gavin Newsom, the man who once dreamed of the White House, suddenly looked like he couldn't even manage his own backyard. Her closing sentiment was the final twist of the knife. Calm, unshaken, she said. We go from one terrible administration to another terrible administration. They just have different branding. It was the kind of statement that doesn't just sting, it lingers. Because she wasn't wrong. The revolving door of politics keeps spinning, and too often, voters are left with the same recycled promises in prettier packaging. And in that one line, she didn't just bury Newsom. She buried the entire illusion that America's political elite, left or right, still represent the people who put them there. Gavin Newsom will recover. Politicians like him always do. They reinvent, rebrand, and reappear with a new slogan and another smile. But something about this moment felt different. This wasn't a PR crisis. It was a cultural one. The internet had seen behind the curtain, and no amount of spin could unsee it. Anna Kasparian had spoken the truth plainly, and for a rare moment in politics, everyone listened. So what do you think? Was Anna Kasparian just saying what millions have been afraid to say out loud? Did she finally pull back the mask on one of America's most carefully packaged politicians? Or was it simply the perfect storm? A truth-teller meeting a man who'd been living too long in his own reflection? Let's talk about it below. And if you love stories that cut through the spin and expose what's really going on behind the cameras, hit that like button and subscribe. Because moments like this, the ones that peel back the truth, are exactly what we're here for.